Om Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Pada Padme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. On the occasion of celebration of this 74th Republic Day, I wish you all a successful, peaceful and happy future. My dear students and respected teachers, today is a day of both gratitude and deep thinking. We should be grateful to those freedom fighters who have sacrificed their entire life for the freedom of this nation. More than 1,000 years, this Bharat was in turmoil. Some parts of the Bharat were conquered by outside civilization, outside culture, outside kingdoms, Mughal kingdom, then Western culture and Western kingdoms. When Swami Vivekananda did Bharat Parikrama as a penniless monk, he found that inner strength of the citizens has drained up. He found unless the masses are awakened with their spiritual energy, India will never become a free country. Because for slavery, the only reason was neglecting the masses, not giving education, culture and self-dignity to the masses. They can be purchased for 100 rupees, 200 rupees. There was a practice in the British government. They used to purchase human beings. Slave trade it is called, it was called. Slave trade, 200 rupees, 300 rupees per one human being. So they will be carried to the another nation and made them to live as a slave life and do whatever the master want to do. That was the practice in British colonization. Swamiji found, how can a person can sell oneself for 200, 300 rupees? Because of absence of self-dignity. The person doesn't know what is the value of his life, what for he is living. So everywhere, cheating and slavery. So Swamiji thought of to rise the inner strength, the spiritual strength, the dignity of a real being. So he gave a clarion call. Come up, O lions, and stand up. Shake off the delusion that you are sheep. He uses the word sheep for human being. Shake off the delusion that you are sheep, because sheep are available in market for sales. Like that you are also available in market for sales. And shake off the delusion that you are sheep. Sheep has one more innate quality of non-thinking. If one sheep goes, the second sheep will not ask why you are going that side. That also will follow. Third will follow. The fourth will follow. So slavery is because of absence of self-dignity and non-thinking. Therefore Swamiji told, you come up. And he gave guidance to his own disciples. Teach everyone, teach yourself about the glory of the self. Call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakes. Power will come, money will come. Whatever is excellent in life will come. Once the sleeping soul is roused to the self-conscious activity. Self-conscious activity is the statement. Are we self-conscious? Even after 75 years of independence, are we self-conscious? That is the second part of the celebration. First part I told, we should be grateful to those who have given up their entire life, family, wealth, everything. Some pretended as though they were freedom fighters. Some were real freedom fighters. The history is the witness. But the general masses were always waiting for some sort of benefit, either food or cloth. They never bothered about this freedom, this, that. In fact, in Tamil Nadu, there was a leader who wrote, "We don't want freedom." He wrote, "We don't want freedom." So there were so many people who really fought, like Bharatiyar, Subramanya Bharatiyar, Kapalotiya Tamilar, Vavu Chidambaranar. My dear students and teachers, we should be grateful for them. First aspect of this celebration. Second aspect is we should start thinking. Do we deserve this freedom? Are we using it in our life, in our day-to-day life? This freedom in a proper way. Freedom doesn't come free. It has a lot of cost. So many millions of people died. But we don't have any significance about it because already 75 years passed away. If your parents say that you should not get away from your room for 30 days, how you will feel? Food will be provided to you. You will not be allowed to go out of your room. Will you accept it? Like that, people were put into jail, 4x4 room, for years. And drop by drop water will be pouring. There was no restroom. They have to go for restroom. There itself. Same room is the restroom, bedroom, eating room, everything. Imagine that suffering. If you go to Andaman prison, you can see that. And you cannot even lie down, you have to stand. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days you have to stand, and one by one drop of water will be pouring on the head. Imagine. That was the suffering our elders, freedom fighters have gone through. Do we know the significance of that suffering and sacrifice? If we know, India would have not been like this. Now slowly that awakening is coming up. Last 4 or 5 years, this awakening is coming up in the form of a different thinking pattern. Now India is challenging the Western powers and Western thinking and Western thought. Modernization doesn't come with dress. Swamiji used to wear like this, a sannyasi garb. One day, he was presented one beautiful coat and suit. After wearing that, when he came out of his room, the lady who has presented that coat and suit, now she told, "Swamiji, you looked like a beggar earlier, now you look like a gentleman." Do you accept this statement? How many of you understand this meaning of this statement? You looked like beggar, now you look like a gentleman. Is it a scolding or a praise? இதுவே புரியாது உங்களுக்கு. Please tell, is it a scolding or praise? Praise. Bah. How many of you tell that it is praise? How many of you know that it is a scolding? It's a scolding. That's what I told. Till we are not yet started thinking, put down your hands. It's a scolding. Before and now, what is the difference? Difference only in dress. How can a person become beggar to gentleman just by changing the dress? So if Swamiji accepted that statement, then his self-dignity is sacrificed. Not only his self-dignity is sacrificed, his country's self-dignity is sacrificed. If he would have accepted that statement. If he refuses the statement, he will be thrown away from the home because he was given shelter by that lady, Western lady. He will be thrown away. Arey, you are opposing my statement, get out. Like that she would have told, and he has to be again on the platform. Now you tell how you handle the situation. Swamiji handled in a beautiful way, without sacrificing his self-dignity, without reducing the dignity of the nation. He told, Mother, in your country, a tailor can make a gentleman. In our country, only a man of character will be called as a gentleman. The difference between a beggar and the gentleman is what? What is the difference between a beggar and the gentleman? Please tell. A beggar is a one who is ready to sacrifice his self-dignity. Correct? He is ready to sell it. Mama, baba. If somebody scolds also, he will not mind. So the beggar is one who is ready to sell his self-dignity. A gentleman is one who is ready to sacrifice everything to protect his self-dignity. And that comes because of character strength. So Swamiji beautifully, in a jovial way, Mother, by this statement, he has put down the entire Western culture and their scale of assessing a person, because their scale is only external. If you look like with a what you call coat and shoot, you are a gentleman. What is this scale? A person should be measured by his character, by his inner strength, not by the color of the skin. Till date, the Western societies are suffering because they have a prejudice that if it is white color skin, it is upper skin. India has its own problems of caste. If you are born so-and-so for so-and-so parent, you are the parent. What he was doing? The profession. Caste is based on profession. There the problem is racism. The racism is based on skin color. Idiots. So Swamiji told, Arey, you cannot measure a person's greatness by color of the skin, nor by the birth of the person, nor by the profession. Just because he is a doctor, you cannot call him as a gentleman, because his mind is what? Doing business with the medicine. Doing business with the suffering of the people. That's why Sri Ramakrishna never took anything from these four groups: doctors, advocates, and those who are doing that pawn shop. Pawn shop means what? That interest giving, finance. He will not take it, because it's all, you are minting money, you are earning money from somebody's suffering. That is not acceptable. So the person's character determines the quality of the person. This was told in our culture 2000 years before. Vellattanayadu malarneetam mandardam ullattanayadu uyarvu. Not the dress color, not the skin color. This was forgotten by the masses. Therefore, they were ready to sell themselves. Not only they were ready, now also people are ready to sell themselves, their own voting power, just for 500 rupees and one liquor bottle. You go for election period, just go out and see, people are there to sell their votes. This voting power came because of the sacrifice of the people, of thousands and millions of people, freedom fighters. Now this fellow doesn't know the significance of that. And he sells his vote for 500 rupees. And you go to the, what you call, traffic place. There will be one police officer or police person. He will be seeing him, we may respect. But suddenly he stops your vehicle and say, give. யார் முகத்தில் முடிச்சனோ தெரியல, இந்த சனி என்கிட்ட வந்து மாட்டிக்கினே. Mind will tell. Externally, salute is given to the police. Then inner mind is what? Idiot, you fellow. You are paid for it. You are paid for the duty you are performing by the government, and that government is me. And that government is me. That is the idea of republic. Kudi urimai. Kudi arasu means what? Kudigararude arasu alla. Kudigararude arasu alla. Therefore, my dear students, let the old people live and die with their ignorance. Don't bother about it. But you become a thinking person with self-dignity. Never sacrifice your self-dignity for the sake of few hundred rupees or 1,000 rupees. Never sacrifice your self-dignity for the sake of a momentary sense pleasures. Many youths give up their self-dignity just for momentary sense pleasures. They know it is wrong. You know that it is wrong. Then why you do? Because you are already sold for that pleasure. You are sold for that money. You are sold for that position. Therefore, my dear students, take a decision today that I will live a life of self-dignity. This is what expected by the freedom fighters when they could not live with self-dignity because of the oppression of the external forces. They sacrificed. They never allowed themselves to be slave. What is the difference between a slave and a freedom fighter? Please tell. What is the difference between a slave and a freedom fighter? Both are slave. Both are slave. But one has accepted the slavery, another is not accepting that slavery. Do you agree? Both are slaves. That is why when Kodikata Kumaran was refusing to bow down, to leave when he was forced to give up that flag, he told, I will not obey you. No, we will beat you. You beat me, no problem. I will not accept this slavery. So the one who doesn't accept that slavery is called a freedom fighter, and one who accepts and succumbs to the pressure is called a slave. Now there is no external forces to make a slave. There are inside our own society, our own home. There is a big box in the form of TV or a mobile. It makes many people, millions of people are slave for this TV box and a mobile. An instrument can slave. An ice cream can slave. A cinema can slave. A cinema actor, actress can slave. There are so many cracks are there in the society. You tell one person's name, cinema actor, all will howl like jackals. Oh! Jackals. That fellow would have been a cantankerous person in his personal life. After 20 years, he would have divorced his wife. But that person becomes a big person in the society. What nonsense. Because these are all signs of slave, my dear students. You are slave. We are all slaves. That is why what the definition for education is told in our culture. What is education? What is education? For education, there is a Sanskrit word vidya. Vidya. Ka vidya is the question. What do you mean by education? Sa vidya ya vimuktaye. That is the education which makes you free. Because instinctively you are slave for certain things. That is the education which makes you feel free. Which doesn't allow to succumb to this slavery. Which doesn't allow to accept that slavery. That is the education. Now you see the society is so much slavery. Generally, women are slave for TV serials and cinemas. Men are slave for liquors and entertainments. Children are slave for video games and pogo channels. Where is the freedom? You establish freedom in your life. That is possible only you start thinking, why should I be slave to someone? Even a cat doesn't want to be a slave. You catch a cat in your house and put its head like this. What you will do? What that cat? Will it accept? It will protest. You cannot hold me like this. For 1 minute I will allow you to hold you because you are feeding me. More than that, I will not allow. You catch a dog and try to tie, it will bark on you. You fellow, you are tying me. Like, correct? Even animal want to be free, but human being voluntarily hands over himself to cinema wallas and entertainments and what you call Poco channels and for TVs and mobiles and whatnot. Republic Day means a day of gratitude and a day of rethinking our quality of life. The quality of life is so low now. Nobody wants to get up even before 7 o'clock. Because up to 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, people are, they think they are entertainment, but they are slave. Even if they want to stop, they cannot stop. Even children want to stop, parent won't stop. And in Villupuram I could see many drunkards. Horrible it is. Everywhere drunkards. Slave for the alcohol. Therefore, my dear children, this celebration is not for elders, it is for children and youths. You decide whether you are going to live the same type of life or you are going to live a free life. Freedom doesn't mean doing whatever you like. Freedom means doing what is beneficial for you and to your family members and to the society. So study Swami Vivekananda. Think about the ideals of our life. We have 3 life: personal life, family life, and then social life. You have to interact with the society. How you have to behave, with what ideology you will interact with the society. You have to interact with your family members. Now many families are broken. Divorce is rampant. The love between the brothers and sisters are gone. Just for few thousands of money. They will be very, tangachi. Once the 10,000 rupees comes in between, gone. 10,000 rupees separates Anna Tangachi. A small feet, 2 feet of the Varapun Sulangilya land divides the families. Where? So you have to calibrate your thinking pattern and make decision and train yourself to live harmoniously with family members. To live harmoniously with the society. And to live harmoniously with your own mind. When mind is not a friend for you, then your life is a hellish. It will be full of kama, krodha, anger, hatred. And you are not available for responding. You are always reacting personality. You see, anywhere in society, people react. In traffic, suppose one bike is having clashes with another bike. What was the reaction immediately? Hey, enda, kanu therliya, dey savugrake, varaliya, paathutundiya, solittu. Idella reaction, not response. Cultured living is not there. Because the culture has to come within our own inner mind. That is why Swamiji, before getting freedom, India should change its thought pattern. Therefore he gave a call to the motherland. A call to the motherland he was giving. And I am going to read. It is there in your diary. I don't know how many of you even once read it. When you chanted the song of flag, it is there in your diary. I don't know how many of you have by-hearted that. Kodi Padal. Irka? Ethana perukku paada theriyum? Inga paadna, Michael paadna kodandhiya olunga paadala. Ethana perukku national anthem theriyum? நான் காம்படிஷன் வைங்கன்னு சொல்லியிருக்கிறேன். கையை தூக்கி பிரயோஜனம் இல்லை, காம்படிஷன் வச்சு கரெக்டாக வந்தால் தான் தெரியும். And we have 2000 and odd student strength today, Republic Day. How many of them come? Not even 200. This is our patriotism. This is our social life. We are all slaves. Now, these students who have not come to the school, suppose, what they would have been doing now? Your classmates, your friends, what they would have done, doing now? Please tell. Or tomorrow you ask, hey, 9:30, what you are doing? Or 10 o'clock, what you are doing? Nalla thooinandanda day. Slave. Some will tell, எங்க அம்மா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸாக இட்லியும் சிக்கனும் பண்ணாங்கடா, அதை சாப்பிட்டு ஃபார் டங் ஸ்லேவ். போகோ சேனல் பார்த்துனுந்தா ஸ்லேவ் ஃபார். So they have forgotten their responsibility of being grateful for the freedom fighters. If the government say celebration of Republic Day in schools are voluntary, I will assure not even 10 teachers or 10 students will come. Government makes it compulsory. The very fact you see, tell thanks. If it is told compulsorily, what is it thanks? Is it thanks? It must be a natural, na? When you get something, when you get 5 rupees chocolates, if somebody gives, you tell, thank you, uncle. But so many uncles died for your sake. 75 years before, 6-year-old girl child is married. And 10-year, 12-year-old boy is married. Just 75 years before. In India, they have given their life. 75 years before, the people who are called as untouchables were not allowed in the temple. Many people died to get that right for us. They were not allowed into the educational institutions. Many sacrifices, like Sister Nivedita. When Sister Nivedita was begging the parent to allow the girl children to the school, you know what happened once? One parent was chewing pan masala. Pan masala, you know? That betel leaf and pan masala, like that. In Calcutta, it was very natural for everyone to have that pan masala. Like that, they will tell. So when Sister Nivedita was requesting, please send your girl. She is already widow, 8-year-old girl. Because 6th year marriage happened. And within 2 years she became widow. What will be her life? 8-year-old child is widow. No remarriage is possible in those days. So when Sister Nivedita was asking, please send your child. I will give you education so that she can be independent. What that parent told, did you know? He simply spit on her face that pan masala. Then Sister Nivedita, you see, the training of Swami Vivekananda. When you are going to the service activities, people will not accept your service initially. They will test you whether you are really interested in their society's welfare or in your name and fame. So Sister Nivedita wiped out that saliva and told, uncle, I did not ask something for me. You have presented this, your saliva to me, you have gifted. Please send your child and gift education to your child. And that fellow fell at the feet of the Nivedita, Mother Sari. So revolutions came, change of social thinking came not at the free cost, my dear children. People lived and sacrificed and died for our sake. How many of us know? So therefore only, before getting freedom, there must be a sense of responsibility in our mind. Therefore only Swamiji gave a clarion call 50 years before freedom. Swamiji says, I could give freedom to this night by my yogic power. I could convince the Queen of England to declare India is a free nation. I could do it because he was living in England. And many big shots are his own disciples. So he says, by my yogic power, I could make India free nation this night. But where are the people to hold that freedom? So he gave a clarion call. I just read and complete this speech. call to the motherland. It is called a call to the motherland. O India, forget not that the ideal of your womanhood is Sita, Savitri, Damayanti. What does it mean? Who are these people? Sita, Savitri, Damayanti. They are embodiment of purity in their life. When Ravana showed the entire Swarna Lanka full of gold and diamonds, you just marry me, my dear Sita, you just marry me, you will be the owner for all this. Trinamantratam krutva, Valmiki says, she looked at all this wealth as a blade of grass. Idiot. For my purity, your Swarna Lanka is not enough. You just question yourself. If somebody brings one kilogram of gold and say, will you marry me? What will be your reply? Sita mother told, your gold and diamonds are not equal for my purity and chastity. And he threatens her, I will kill you. Your power is not equal in front of my purity and chastity. If I want, I can burn you at this moment itself, Ravana, but that will create a bad name for Rama. As though Rama is not powerful enough to handle you, so I had to handle you like that. History will tell. I don't want to bring bad name to Rama. Therefore, I am accepting all your tortures. But never think I will be sold for your wealth or power or anything. This is the ideal. Swamiji says, never allow yourself to be sold. Oh India, forget not that the ideal of your womanhood is Sita, Savitri and Damayanti. Oh India, forget not that the God you worship is the ascetic of ascetics. Who is that God here? Swamiji is mentioning is Bhagavan Shiva. He is the Tyaginam Tyagihi. He is the renunciate of the renunciates. Greatest Jagat Guru. So never forget. Why he is telling? Never forget to sacrifice. The idea of sacrifice is not at all there in the minds of the society now. The idea of sacrificing for the good of the people. Oh India, never forget that you worship the great ascetic of ascetics, the all-renouncing Bhagavan Shankara, the Lord of Uma. Forget not that your marriage, your wealth, your life are not for sense pleasures, are not for your individual personal happiness. So entire life is not for sense pleasures, for selfish life. Forget not that you are born as a sacrifice to the mother's altar. What is? Your very birth is for sacrificing. இந்த பிராய்லர் கோழின்னு பார்த்துருக்கீங்கல்ல, அது எதுக்கு முட்டை போடுது, எது குஞ்சு பறிக்குது? அடுத்தவங்க சாப்பிட்றதுக்காக தான். பிராய்லர் கோழி பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? சாப்பிட்டுட்டே இருக்கும். சாப்பிட்டு பெருசாக குண்டாகும். அது குண்டான உடனே இன்னொருத்தருக்கு பசி எடுக்கும். யாருக்கு? அதை வச்சுங்கிறவருக்கு. அவர் எடுத்து அவர் சாப்பிட்ருவார். ஸோ பிராய்லர் கோழியினுடைய வாழ்க்கையினுடைய லட்சியம் என்ன சொல்லுங்க? சாப்பிட்றதா, சாக்ரிஃபைஸ் பண்ணுறதா? அது கோழின்றதுனால அது என்ன நினைக்குது? சாப்பிட்றதா என் வாழ்க்கையின் லட்சியம் நினைக்குது. நம்மளும் அதை நினைக்கலாமா? சொல்லுங்க. அதான் சாமிஜி சொல்றாரு, forget not that you are born as a sacrifice at the mother's altar. Forget not that your social order is but the reflex of the infinite universal motherhood. Forget not that the lower classes, the ignorant, the poor, the illiterate, the cobbler, the sweeper are your own flesh and blood. What a grand statement. In those days it is impossible even to think like this. சமுதாயத்தினால யாரெல்லாம் ஒதுக்கப்பட்டவர்களாக இருந்தார்களோ, பறையன், பள்ளன், சக்கிலியன், எப்படி அவங்கள பார்த்தாலே முகத்தை திரும்பிட்டு போவாங்க. அவங்கள பார்த்து சுவாமி விவேகானந்தர் சொல்றாரு, அவங்கள் உன்னுடைய எலும்பும் ரத்தமும் என்று அன்பு செய். என்ன ஐடியா பாரு. Because unless you include every aspect of the social order, you cannot be a society with peace and happiness. So therefore Swamiji says that they are all your blood and they are all your brothers. You brave one. This is possible only for a brave people, not for idiots and for selfish fellows and for weak fellows. These ideas are only for few minds. And I hope your minds must be the few, those few. Because you have come from a house, sacrificing all your pogo channel and nice cozy sleep and your friends and games. You have come here with all sense of gratitude. இல்லை சுவாமி எங்கள் டீச்சர் வர சொன்னாங்க, இல்லை சுவாமி எங்களை வந்து அலங்காரம் பண்ண சொன்னாங்க, அதனால வந்திருக்கிறோன்னு சொல்லாதீங்க. So make it your own heartfelt. Anything we do, we should feel it. We should feel. Otherwise it is mechanical. Mechanically doing whatever you do is not useful. Mechanically if you eat, what will happen? It will not stay in the body. Nutrition you will not get. Doctors themselves said, please chew nicely and be conscious that you are eating. So mechanically doing anything is not useful for us. Therefore, this, oh brave one, be bold, take courage and be proud that you are Indian. How many of us? How many of us? If suppose a American embassy comes and says, I will give you American visa, I think 80 crore people, 80% of the people will go to America. You just go to American consulate, it is in Chennai. I had to go that way very frequently. Like a dogs, they stand on the queue. Whole night, not morning hours, night they have to stand on the queue on the roads for one visa. For what? Here 30,000 rupees, there $30,000. Swami, 70 times. He says, my salary is 70 times extra. Will I not go to America? Go. Go and lose all your culture. Your child or your grandchild will ask, why you left India? Because people don't know what are the treasures in our nation. People value only money, currencies, and that to paper. If government announces demonetization, that will be a simple paper. But people value it. People don't value the values of human being. So Swamiji says, you should be bold and courage and you should value whether other people value your ideas or not. You value your ideas and ideologies. Be proud that you are an Indian and proudly proclaim, I am an Indian. Every Indian is my brother. The ignorant Indian, the poor and destitute Indian, the Brahmin Indian, the Pariah Indian is my brother, and proclaim. Clad with but a rag round by thy loins, proudly proclaim at the top of the voice. சாதாரணமா சொல்லாதன்றார், மலை மேல போய் கோவணங்கட்டின்னு சொல்லுன்றார். ஏன்னா சுவாமிஜி வந்து கௌபீனதாரின்னா புரியுமா? அதாவது ஒன்லி ஒன் பீஸ் ஆஃப் கிளாத். லைக் ரமண மகரிஷி போட்டோ பார்த்துருக்கீங்க இல்லையா? அவர் உடம்புல எவ்வளவு துணி இருந்துச்சு? ஒரு சின்ன துணி. அந்த மாதிரி சுவாமிஜி நிறைய நாட்கள் வருடங்கள் கடந்து இருந்திருக்கிறார். எங்க அப்படின்னா தனியா இருக்கும் பொழுது, மலைகளிலும் காடுகளிலும். சமுதாயத்துக்கு வரும்பொழுது உடை என்பது ஒரு தேவை என்றதுனால உடுத்து. அவர் சொல்றாரு, நீ தனியா போய் சொல்லு இத. when you are not given respect, when you are disrespected based on your marks, go and say, I have something glad to say to this world and society. I will prove in my life that I am an Indian. I have the capacity to think and love. This is a great capacity. Getting mark is very easy. Thinking is very difficult. And thinking is called education. Vallur says, எப்பொருள் யார் யார் வாய் கேட்பினும் அப்பொருள் மெய்ப்பொருள் காண்பது அறிவு. One 2000 year old grandfather says, you think. And 150 years old grandfather says, you be free. That is the message of Republic Day. Not only you be free, never be arrogant, never be selfish, and give your life. While giving, what will happen to Swami? Nothing will happen. You will be grand. When you give yourself, அரே தேங்காய் மரத்துக்கு எல்லாரும் தண்ணி ஊத்துறான், பெத்தவங்களை ஏன் காப்பாற்ற மாட்டேன்றான் பாருங்களேன். அந்த நாய்க்கு 5000 ரூபாய் செலவு பண்றான், அம்மாவுக்கு மருந்துக்கு காசு கொடுக்க மாட்டான். ஏன் சொல்லுங்க? அந்த நாய் வந்த உடனே இப்படி இப்படி வாழை ஆட்டி அவனுக்கு நக்கி கிக்கி அவனுக்கு the dog satisfies his emotional need. Mother doesn't satisfy. Therefore, no respect for mother. But mother, when you are child, the same mother did same thing. When you came from school as a LKG child, ale challam, like that. She hugged you and like that. You know that. But when she is 70-year-old and you are like a buffalo 30-year-old, how can you expect that mother to cajole you? But that time the mother is replaced by dog. Kya avastha? So my dear students, please challenge the social thinking in your mind, not openly. Openly you should not challenge, they will trouble you. Challenge when the society says that if you have a tie, you are a decent man. Challenge it. How can a tie make me a decent man? If I speak decently and lovingly, I am called decent man. How can a dress make me a gentleman? How can money make me as a rich man? There are so many poor people with lot of money. There are so many rich people with no money. With no money, there are so many rich people. So think and change the thinking pattern in your own mind, then it will spread to the next man. That is the sign of freedom. May the Republic Day remind us the responsibility of being free ourselves and pass over the same freedom of thinking, the freedom of speech, the freedom of lifestyle to the future generation. May Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Mother Sarada Devi and Swami Vivekananda continuously inspire us and remind us our own divine nature and keep us always free in spite of external slavery situation. Let us all pray and let us all call the people who have died for this nation. Let them come back, because everyone told that they will come back. They will come back. Again I will come back and serve my mother nation. You pray in your prayer, oh freedom fighters, where you are, you might have been enjoying nice drama and dance in Surga because of your Surga, because Shastra says, if you sacrifice your life for the nation, you will get Surga. So there sometime some nice dance and parties will be there. You please come back, and we need you like that. You call the freedom fighters, ex-freedom fighters, and make your own mind as a freedom fighter. May the Lord bless you. Thank you very much.